Welcome to the Post-International Hotel Technology Forum edition for Travel Market Life. At the event in Barcelona, we met several hundred hoteliers and vendors talking about the latest innovations and developments in the marketplace. With a 2.5-day program set across two streams, technology and operations, marketing and distribution, we heard from a number of hoteliers about the developments that they're making in the marketplace and some of the challenges that vendors are finding solutions for. In this episode, we're going to hear from the host, Ted Horner, Steve Johnson of Ruckus Network, Asam Nawaz from Because, Sal Capizzi from Book for Time, Jory Garcia from Flexkeeping, and Chris Bowling from Best Western Hotels.
Welcome to Travel Market Life, your companion for industry insights and professional business development. Travel Market Life. Join us by webcast, video or podcast.
Joining me now is Ted Horner. Now you've been presenting the technology and operations stream here at the International Hotel Technology Forum 2024. What have been some of the interesting key conversations that you've been having and the presentations that have really stood out for you?
Oh, I think probably, AI, there's been quite a few sessions with AI. I think we've had the panel I did this morning where we covered things like Wi-Fi, the transition to Wi-Fi 6 to 7, the whole contactless journey, the 360-degree personalisation, hyper-personalisation, whatever you want. How people are now trying to work up how they mine all the data, bring it all together, with some specialist products. It's been pretty exciting, actually, to find out what's happening in Europe versus other parts of the world.
I'm with Steve Johnson, the Senior Director for Hospitality EMEA at Ruckus Networks. Thanks ever so much for joining me. So tell me about Ruckus Networks and what you offer hoteliers.
So Ruckus Networks is a very well-known brand in the hospitality industry. We build Ethernet and Wi-Fi networks that build the platforms that enable many of the hospitality technology applications to be delivered.
Now, Wi-Fi is a big thing for guests. It's been talked about constantly here, but obviously it is needed for hotels, cloud services and SaaS, that is big. What have been developments there within Wi-Fi over the last few years, and what hoteliers need to be considering when it comes to purchasing these networks?
So I think the key thing is the environment that the Wi-Fi needs to service has changed dramatically. So it used to be simply a hotel guest with maybe a laptop that would come in and want to do a little bit of work or just spend a little bit of time on the laptop. We've evolved to a situation now where we actually have travelers, a traveling group that you might call digital nomads, who essentially take their work with them everywhere. So it's not working from an office, it's evolved beyond working from home, it's now working from wherever they are. In addition to that, it's no longer just people that are connecting to the networks, and they're not just using it for work. So many guests these days want to come in and sit in their hotel room and cast their own media, for example, onto the TV screens. Within hotel rooms or the modern smart hotel room, all of the devices are beginning to connect to the network, whether it's the temperature controls, the control for the blinds, the lighting, the door lock, using your mobile handset to unlock the doors. All of these things need to be connected. So it's becoming much, much more complicated for hoteliers to be able to deliver the level of service that their guests are expecting. And so one is delivering the guest experience and ensuring that the guest is having a fantastic experience. The other side of that is how do you manage it? Because all of this complexity begins to add up cost.
That's a big thing to be thinking about, as you say. Yeah, that's true. How I use Wi-Fi within hospitality is so very different to how it was maybe 10 or 15 years ago, and say with the casting of leisure travelers from their own devices. What have some of the new services and offerings that you have brought to market recently?
So we were delighted. This has been a fantastic platform, a great event for us to be able to announce our new hospitality suite. So it's a network that's specifically designed for the hospitality industry. So it's essentially a suite of products, including a cloud-based AI-driven management platform, including our Wi-Fi 7 access points, including our IoT technology and software platform. That's essentially designed to ensure that hotels and hotel chains are able to reassure their brand standards, meet their brand standards, ensure that the guest experience is excellent all of the time, and ensure that they have full technology compliance around the network.
Excellent. Wow. Okay. There's so much to that. Absolutely. And then from the IHTF this year, what's the value that you get as a business from it?
It's just a fantastic event. I mean, the attendee list is superb. Most of the big chains are here in attendance, as well as, the large independent hotel groups and hotels themselves. It's a fantastic opportunity to network with them. I think it's a superb learning experience, which is a two-way thing. I think the attendees have the opportunity to learn from us, the vendors, about what the latest technologies are, what we see the technology trends being, and almost as important, it's an opportunity for us to learn from the attendees about what they see their challenges are and what they see the technology direction that they want us to be following would be.
And can I ask you about some talking points then for this year? What is the hot topics that you've noticed from either the program or the conversations that you've been having with hoteliers?
Yeah, so some of them have been around for a little while, but seem to be heating up, or the heat is increasing on them. So sustainability is a topic that I'm hearing again and again. I think the ability to enhance the guest experience through providing them with digital control, and digital control can mean many different things. We contribute to that in terms of laying the platform to enable it, but there are multiple applications that sit on top of that. Personalization is incredibly important. So more and more hoteliers are looking to identify and understand who their guests are in an effort to better serve them and provide them with a better experience to develop greater loyalty. And at the other end, it's very much about operational efficiency. So hiring staff and retaining staff remains a big issue in the industry. So what technology can we use, and how does the industry use technology to accommodate that challenge that they've got?
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. It's really insightful. I'm with Asam Nawaz, the head of sales at Because. So thanks ever so much for having a conversation with me here. Tell me about Because. What is it you do for the industry?
So Because is a sustainability data hub for the travel industry. So basically, we connect the dots in the travel industry. So we have the industry organizations, the hotel chains, the OTAs, and the different frameworks working together in one hub, in one system. So that's what we've created, and we collect data on sustainability. So basically, if you look at eco-labels on several OTAs like Booking.com, EasyJet, Holidays, Google, the data comes through us. And also when we collect data for different reporting formats in the EU, for instance, for Radisson Hotel Group, it's also done through our platform.
So when you see the nutritional information on a box of cereal, it's pretty similar. You get to understand the sustainable qualifications for each of these businesses. Yeah,
so sustainability is a journey, and everybody needs to start somewhere. So the end goal is not 100% clear yet, but everybody wants to go in the same direction. So that's also the initial thoughts that we had, because what we identified for the travel industry is that a lot of processes within sustainability data is very manual. It's very resource heavy, and it basically lives in Excel sheets, in Word documents. Even like some chains use SurveyMonkey to ask their GMs questions around the globe at hotels. So we've eliminated that. So we use technology to make things correct, and also for the industry not to be accused for greenwashing.
And what sort of customers are you working with, and what impact are you having with them?
So a good case is Radisson Hotel Group, and we're basically their internal sustainability data collection system. And we've removed, I think, up to 60% of resource-heavy work internally for them, which of course is time saving and at the end cost saving as well. And yeah, to have the clear overview, to have the correct data in the correct formats for their investors, property owners, in order to report externally as well in their financial reports, and also when we send data on eco labels to several OTAs. So basically everything in the area of sustainability is run through us, if you use Radisson as an example.
Now, Radisson's a big, huge, massive hotel group. Do you also work with smaller portfolios and independent properties?
Yeah, so actually, as a single hotel, independent property, you can go to our homepage for free and create a user. And we've created a carbon footprint calculator and also a water usage calculation. Basically, you can use that for free as a single hotel. It's based on SHA, Sustainable Hospitality Alliance. They created this methodology with Cornell University, and we've actually just digitalized that. So usually also Excel based, but now you can, as a single property, go and do the calculation for free and very, very frictionless. We're at IHTF because we would like to speak to smaller and mid-sized hotel groups, because basically the case is the same as large hotel chains, but just in a smaller scale. So we're really good at the large chains. It happens through network, and it's a long sales process as well. But I would say for small and mid-size, we're exploring it, going to conferences like IHTF as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much indeed. Joining me now is Sal Capizzi, VP of Marketing for Book for Time. So tell me about Book for Time. What do you do?
We are a business management and ancillary revenue management software for the hospitality industry. Segmented mostly in hotels and resorts. We manage all ancillary revenue departments, business operations-wise, besides F&B.
Where's the particular growth areas you're seeing for hoteliers for actually increasing ancillary revenues and, in particular, I guess, revenue profit?
We've seen a huge increase in the utilization of the yield management and our demand generation tools within our software. We actually won an award for those features. Really giving the operators the power to adjust prices based on demand, which allows them to make more money in peak periods and kind of entice people to book during slower periods to make sure that all of their rooms are being utilized.
And is this across all departments within a hotel?
It can be. It absolutely can be. Across the spa, activities, classes, what have you.
I was going to say, I mean, guest experience is a big thing now, and offering them, that entire stay experience that you have. And that spas in particular have always been a bit on the outdated side of software and technology.
Yes.
And are you seeing hotels adapt quite quicker and faster and help those departments really elevate the opportunities available in the market?
1,000%. So when you can offer a holistic guest experience throughout your spa, your cabanas, your day bed, and your wellness classes, in general, areas like that, it creates an amazing guest experience, and people want to book because they had a pleasurable experience. I mean, they're participating in these activities for one reason, to unwind, to unplug, things like that. So whatever can be done from the software, from the technology point of view, to make that experience easier, Book for Time takes care of it.
Now, traditionally, things like F&B and spa has been flat pricing. You're talking about creating pricing dependent on demand. You're asking for a whole new skill set here. Are you seeing hotels develop the skill sets of those managers of those departments, or are you seeing the revenue function take on and take over some of that in order to manage pricing on a more profitable level?
Yeah, that's a great question. A little bit of both, actually. Yield management has been used in the hospitality industry from way back in the 70s. I believe one of the airlines had first adapted it. We're seeing more operators become more comfortable with it, and it impacting the greater good of the overall end user. Yes, you generate more revenue, but when somebody can slide in your spa and pay a cheaper price, they're going to be happy as well.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Of course. Thank you, Ryan.
I'm with Jory Garcia, Regional Director at Flexkeeping. Tell me about Flexkeeping and what do you do for the industry?
Yeah, easy said. We are a all-encompassing hotel operations platform, categorically, specifically with housekeeping. But we make the daily lives of back of house, front of house easier, streamlined, automated, adding technology to the daily lives.
I mean, all aspects of the industry is being digitalized. We're definitely seen of the guest experience there. A lot more focus, particularly on the operations, housekeeping and maintenance side of things. What should hoteliers be thinking about when approaching digitalizing this aspect of the business?
Well, the easy answer is not to have to think about anything, right? We take all the pains of the archaic ages of the past, whether it be walkie-talkies, pen and paper, clipboards, instead making everything in app on the computer and making everyday lives easier.
Now, IHTF, you've been here before. What's the value do you get from being here?
Of course, connecting with partners, with potential new clients is the biggest benefit, but also understanding what's coming in the technology scope, whether it be in your specific sector, whether it's revenue, operations, doesn't quite matter. It's just making sure you're front and center in front of the technology, in front of the industry.
What have you noticed is some main talking points and topics that hoteliers are really focusing on this year?
Easy to say AI. That's not the answer I want to go towards, because that's just a buzzword. But once again, it's just the all-encompassing aspect of understanding what's next, where people are going, and whether you're ahead or in the race.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Okay, so joining me now is Chris Bowling from Best Western Hotels. So you were giving a presentation all looking at what you've been doing with the advertising side, multi-channel mixed marketing. What is the approach that you take at Best Western and looking at what's going to be most effective for your audience?
Yeah, so big topic to jump straight into, but for us, we want to start by working out where are our customers going to be. What channels might they be using, and how can we most effectively target them with our budget? We obviously want to make sure we're hitting various different touch points with our customers, getting that unified message across the best we can. So we start by looking at our budgets and what are the best placements for the maximum coverage.
When I spoke to you last time, you did quite a big TV advertising campaign. Now, over the last 12 months, you've taken a slightly different approach, selecting other channels.
Mm-hmm.
Can you talk to me about those channels and the reasoning behind that?
Yeah, of course. So in 2022, we did a big TV campaign. We decided that was something we wanted to do because we haven't been on TV in a long time. Obviously, TV is still one of the most effective channels, big coverage, but we wanted to hit a higher frequency for our coverage this year. So that's why we took the approach of a combination of audio, so radio, in most cases, Spotify, combined with outdoor, so traditional outdoor as well as digital. So we're still getting the combination of people seeing us as a brand, but also hearing us as a brand, which is essentially what TV delivered, but we're getting it in multiple spots, multiple touch points now. So that's the approach we took.
Now, it's more than just doing the age-old radio and outdoor advertising and TV. You also look at the segments. You look at your audiences a lot closer.
Yes.
And within that, you were sort of talking about this idea of the commuter profile and the work-from-home profile and the retail profile, or retail worker profile, shall I say. It's just a very different way you've been looking at audiences today, because our lifestyles have adapted so much.
Yeah, things have changed so much that even compared to just 5 or so years ago, there's so many different places people can be spending their time. Time is becoming more precious to people, and they're being more selective. So when I went through the presentation, it was as much as how we look at it, but an example of this is how diverse it is now, and this is how challenging it is to reach people. Even if you did one platform fantastically, like if you say you mastered Facebook ads, you're still not hitting everyone you want to reach. So you have to be diverse, and you have to be in different places to hit your audience. So it's very much looking at those different journeys and where are people spending their time.
So while you've got the outdoor advertising and you've got reinforcive radio, you're also doing a lot of online and social.
Yeah.
You're tapping into when they're actually sat there on their phones playing with Facebook or Spotify or TV now. And there's, I guess, so many more options that you can drill down into targeting those profiles. How do you then sort of leverage that data to get a better understanding as to where your audiences are?
So I guess when we look at our marketing, you've got to look at it in stages, don't you? So you've got the very top of level brand awareness, which is kind of our mass channels, I'd say, which is kind of our radio and our outdoor. Big scale, big reach, pretty high frequency. And then from there, we support that with our other channels. Once we have a touch point with someone, say someone's been to our website and obviously we've got their consent correctly, we can then retarget them with different types of advertising. We'll know a bit more of them at that stage, so we can segment a bit further. And then if someone opts into our database, for example, we then know a little bit more about them. We can then tweak that message a bit further. So it's that funnel approach, really. At the top, we're kind of not spraying and hoping, but it's kind of to get the interest going, so then we can then segment a bit more from there.
And from research that you've looked at, 10 plus engagements with your brand is actually going to lead to some form of activation. So you've really got to take the long view to getting the bookings, getting that money, getting those guests, or getting that new audience in.
Yeah, that's right. It's about planting that seed to own a bit of space in someone's head, isn't it? So that when they next want to make that journey, they go, oh, Best Western. And they take that step and it kind of automatically connects. We all have our brands that own that little piece of space in our head. You've got to put in the effort to have that right to be there, I guess. So that's why we want to get our frequency right across our channels.
And then the technology that lies beneath it all is this CDP, and it's something that you're working and you're developing on. Can you tell us about the approach you've taken and where you are in that journey now?
Yeah, so CDP is still very early days for us. It's obviously the dream and it's a holy grail. At a global level, it's coming. There's good progression in the States, and that's starting to feed out kind of globally now. So this year we're going to be in the thick of it, but I'm looking forward to seeing all the extra insights and personalizations it can bring us.
Excellent. We'll get you back in then.
Yep, can't wait.
Thank you very much, Chris.
Yeah, thanks, Ryan.
Travel Market Life.
For the full set of interviews and conversations I've had from the International Hotel Technology Forum, head to the listings on your podcast and flick through the list and find the ones that you want to listen to. I've also spoken to a number of hoteliers as part of our series Hotelier's Voice, so check out some of those to learn about some of the specific problems and solutions that they've been looking at. Don't forget to check out the International Hotel Technology Forum 2025, which will be occurring in Portugal. I'm your host, Ryan Haynes. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now.
For more, go to Travel Market Life. The music sensation by Zach Nelson is reproduced under license from Storyblocks. Travel Market Life is a Haynes Marcoms digital marketing agency production, serving the travel and technology industries.